Listen. The Sakamoto days hate for the opening and like the first couple episodes, I think was blown out of proportion. It was looking pretty great. Episode 1, fantastic. The animation was animating. Is it a Demon Slayer? Is it a Jujutsu Kaisen? No. But at the very least, it wasn't bad. But we just watched episode 5. And the fight scene, that was so mid. I feel like a show like Sakamoto Days, the manga, right, with such a big fandom, the level of glaze and the hype surrounding it should have been better than a PowerPoint presentation, isekai-esque fight where, bro, like the first punch into Hard Boiled, bro, is literally a cut that you will see in isekai where you don't even see the entire fucking movement, but just the outcome. This is the video called Manga Fans Absolutely Hate Their Own Anime, and for the first time, I feel like the criticisms, the drama, warranted, justified with Sakamoto Days episode 5.
You are looking at one of the best action manga out right now. The winner of Best in Artwork and Best Manga of 2024 by Legaruma, and a series so highly revered, the author of Jujutsu Kaisen said reading it made him realize how much his fight scenes were lacking.
What?
This guy said his fights were poor compared to this manga. It's that good.
What the? Is this Baki? What is this manga? What is this shit? Everyone was kneeling out of respect. I feel like this is something that you will see out of fucking Baki right now. I don't know, but yeah, dude, like, man, if the JJK author themselves is saying this, like, I mean, I haven't read the manga for JJK, but I've only seen the anime, but like, clearly the recognition is there. Sakamoto Days has won multiple awards, and other authors are also glazing this.
However, on the flip side, you are looking at a disappointment, a mediocre excuse of an adaptation. Some would call it a sorry selection of still frames.
And that is true. Like straight up, episode 5, it basically was an 8-bit studio Blue Lock-esque PNG slideshow. Not completely like that, but some of the fight sequences, if we can call it even fight sequences, it did feel like that. It was still frames, shaking a bit, and then the next cut where the impact of the fight has already happened and you only see the outcome of it.
First time, the same.
Hey, shoutouts to Blue Log. Hey, I mean, if they can make a comeback, surely Sakamoto Days can too, right?
The same people that glazed the living hell out of this book are suddenly turning their backs on the anime, cursing its very existence. I caught wind of this and decided to check it out, and after 5 episodes, I can definitively say, I don't get it.
No. By episode 4, it's still good, I think. The only complaint that I have is at episode 5 with Sakamoto versus Hard Boiled. When Sakamoto has somehow returned to prime form, he's skinny, and it feels like this should be such a priority importance fight. And you can say whatever you want about the fight length. If it truly was that short in the manga, sure, you don't have to add, extra anime original scenes, but at the very least, make those short moments fucking count. I feel like they didn't make the short moments count.
Sakamoto Days has been a blast to watch. It's quirky, it's fun, and the fights really are distinct and unlike anything I've seen before.
Sure, leading up to episode 5, I can agree with this.
This one, for example. Blondie pulls up to Sakamoto, who's casually sucking on a cough drop, ghost in hand. The gun goes off. Achoo! Sakamoto spits out his cough drop, colliding with the bullet just enough to redirect its trajectory.
And I absolutely agree. Again, these sequences are fantastic. Everything leading up to episode 5, I think, was solid.
Buying him enough time to throw a popsicle stick and distract the guy as he tucks away. Using those same cough drops and a rubber band, he creates a slingshot and uses it as shrapnel to barrel down on his opponent. Once Blondie finds him, Sakamoto chucks a custard cream bun to throw off his aim, hops over the 7-foot-tall DVD aisle, and
boom!
Wham! I thought,
why couldn't they do this for episode 5? Huh? Like, why could they not have shown this to episode 5? Why did they do that so dirty?
To myself, how can someone look at this and say that the animation is any of these 3 words? Spoiled is the word I came up with to describe.
And yes, again, everything leading up to it, like, these are not peak, but great scenes. They're not bad by any means. The hate was blown out of proportion. But at episode 5 again, let's just be very honest right now.
These manga readers. But after watching the semi-dumpster fire that was Blue Lock and thinking about it a bit more, I kind of understand where they're coming from. And I want to share with you my thoughts on the anime, so let me briefly explain the premise of Sakamoto Days. Taro Sakamoto is a legendary hitman who achieved...
Is he playing Fediwap right now? There's so many TikToks I've seen recently where it's all edits of like bro pulling up with a JBL speakerphone playing, you know, Fediwap or some shit. It's just, bro, why is this song going so viral recently, even though it's like an old song?
Is a legendary hitman who achieved peak GOAT status among the hitman society. No one comes close to matching his skills, while some people like Shin even admire his expertise. A stone-cold, ruthless, battle-hardened assassin. Until one day, he fell in love.
Kobeni.
In 5 years, the once great Sakamoto was now married, a father, a convenience store owner, and the most damning thing of it all, he was fat. Oh, and he made a promise with his wife that if he ever kills a single person again, they will get divorced. But the thing you need to understand about the JAA, the Japanese Association of Assassins, is that once you're in, you can't never get out. A bounty has been placed on Sakamoto's head, with assassins from all over Japan flocking for that pie. For Sakamoto, it doesn't matter who it is. If you threaten his family, he will flip the switch.
That part of the story is pretty interesting, right? Where Nagumo is saying, yo, like JAA, like you should be careful, man. You got a bounty on your head. And now with the introduction of this mysterious character X, like, but he's the one killing the JAA assassins. Yet JAA put up a hit on Sakamoto. It's just like, what's going on there? So the plot is definitely getting more interesting, and I hope the future fight scenes are gonna be anything but episode 5.
So why do people love Sakamoto Days? If it isn't abundantly clear what makes this one of the best action manga out there, it's the fights. Now, I've never read the manga, but from reading a lot of comments from fans, including Gege Akutami, general consensus seems to be that the fights are very well thought out and extremely creative, as I've just described to you. The fights are one of a kind, so much so that I guess anything other than perfect was going to cause mayhem in the comment section.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with having expectations for your favorite manga that's done so well, that's been received so well by, you know, other peers in the industry, like, you know, Gege from JJK, or even like winning awards. Clearly, having an expectation that your favorite, you know, manga should have better animation, or like, you know, be done by like a supreme studio with a supreme team. Nothing wrong with that. So I get it. If TMS Entertainment isn't doing it for you, and, you know, the team working on this just makes this a step or two above mid and not peak, I'd be frustrated too.
Fans were ripping apart the animation before the show even officially...
Let's see. Better than PowerPoint Blue Lock Season 2. Season 2 in July. Yuki Hayashi for music, great voice actors. And the other side. Characters looking stiffy. Bad Sakuga, no fluid choreography. Hand-to-hand combat looks bad. Dandadan looks better. I mean, Dandadan does look better, right? And I was making the comparisons that, like, will Sakamoto's Days be the... Will Sakamoto's Days be the Dandadan of Winter 2025? As in, you have such a mainstream, wide appealing show that's season 1 that's coming in hot. Will it have that mainstream appeal? I don't think so. I don't see a lot of people talking about Sakamoto's Days the same way they're talking about Dandadan, right? It's just, it ain't it. Unfortunate.
Released. This is from a trailer. I haven't seen this amount of pre-release hate since Blue Lock. And don't get me wrong, they were right about that, but I wouldn't be the first person to put Sakamoto Days on the same boat as...
Yes, this is not even close. What Blue Lock Frame Lock was and what Sakamoto Days is, not even same in terms of the quality. Sakamoto Days is clearly better.
Frame Lock. While I do agree it isn't to the level of JJK, Freeren, or even recently Dandadan, the criticism seems completely overblown. And it gets worse as more episodes get released each
Yes, because episode 5 was actually bad in terms of the fight.
week. Every episode has at least 5 manga readers on the weekly Reddit.
Try Classroom of the Elite, bro. Nah. The episode 5 thread, dooming, for sure. But like, bro, look at Classroom of the Elite hate from the light novel readers on every fucking anime episode.
Forum commenting about how bad the animation is and how the fight was totally butchered and...
They're right, though. This is the worst fight out of all 5 episodes. If they're referring to the Boiled fight versus Sakamoto, this is not blown out exaggerations. This is an objective cold fact. Go fucking watch the Boiled versus Sakamoto fight. Not even in terms of like the Boiled versus Sakamoto leading up to Sakamoto losing his weight. It was pretty good. I like the way that Boiled's, bomb gumball thing is all moving around in different, ricocheting in different places. Like episode 4 fight was actually better than episode 5 fight in terms of just Boiled versus Sakamoto. But episode 5, bro, like, nah, that ain't it.
And ruined, and I'm like, what? Bro, it looks good. In fact, it looked pretty damn cool. This is when I realized
I feel like Karu is intentionally misrepresenting the comment section right now. Everyone is complaining about episode 5. Of course, the PV complaints, you're right. The PV complaints, it was blown out of hand. Everything leading up till the end of episode 4, I think was pretty fucking solid. It was great. But episode 5 is the part where all these different screenshots of the hate are coming from. And I think that these are fair, objective criticisms.
the same thing happened to me when I first watched Blue Lock Season 2. There is a massive difference in expectation between manga fans and anime onlys. Because while I was watching Blue Lock from a manga reader's perspective, I was watching Sakamoto Days as an anime only, and the experience did vary. Personally, I think the way they slow down the frames before impact, or when they cut the soundtrack before a massive explosion.
That's right. These are the things that you do well. With a limited amount of resources and talent, maybe they're able to do more with little by tricky little techniques like this, right? I'm not talking about the fucking fart or a shaky camera work looking at one PNG like in Blue Lock where they're trying to, like have the illusion that it moves. But these are good things. Yeah, it's good direction. Like it's they're doing a great job, with these scenes. But again, this is not episode 5 where the complaints are coming from.
Or when they literally add new and exclusive anime original scenes to the fights, deliver the same amount of hype as it
These scenes are
probably
great
did for some folks reading the manga for
These
the
are
first
good
time.
scenes.
So that was the case for me when I was watching the show. One person said that the anime will probably be passable and anime onlys won't care as much, and they're right.
Yep.
As an anime watcher, I don't have expectations. I don't have a
Yes, this is called ignorance is bliss, and sometimes it's better like this. Imagine like more knowledge will just make you more disappointed. Does that mean that you should be fine being ignorant? I don't know, man. That's a nuanced fucking take. But a lot of anime onlys, including myself, I was like, this looks like a good anime. This isn't going to be my favorite anime, nor is it going to be like a standout anime that I'm going to remember into the future. But for what it's worth, it is enjoyable to watch. But the fact that the original source is that peak, it just kind of makes you feel like, what if this actually got that insane treatment?
baseline to compare to. This is my baseline. Does it mean my bar is potentially lower compared to manga readers? Possibly. Does that mean I'm enjoying it way less
No, you're gonna be enjoying it a lot more. Ignorance is bliss.
than manga readers? Fuck no. Someone on Reddit said, I'm so glad I'm not a manga reader and can actually enjoy this show.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. And let me reiterate, I don't think this is a case of manga readers being spoiled. It's simply a case of fans wanting the best for their series.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to
Nothing
say
wrong
there
with
aren't
that.
genuine
Fuck this scene though. Now you're including the episode 5 scenes. Let's talk about episode 5. Because the way that this video is represented is extremely skewed towards the manga, the hate being for episodes 1 to 4. And I heard that there are plenty of complaints in episodes 1 to 4, right? I heard that it was. And I think that it's stupid. Episodes 1 to 4, it's pretty good, man. They look pretty solid. Episode 5 though, nah, I'm joining the hate brigade. This shit was mid. Should have been way better.
problems with the adaptation. Some of these shots are noticeably lacking and are attempted to be covered by shaking the screen and flashing white lights in my face.
The Blue Lock techniques, giving the illusion that things are moving.
It was pretty annoying. So the bigger question we should be asking is, why is this happening?
Schedule and talent. They don't have the talent. They don't have enough time to make it better. That's usually the two most important things that it boils down to.
Why does it feel like they're compensating for a lack of movement? And would you believe it? We might have the answer. Satoshi Sakai is the person who worked on the action design in episode 4. And in his tweet, he says roughly, the action storyboard and layout for the second half of the battle scene were done to a certain extent.
What does certain mean in this context, huh? Extrapolate.
Now that could potentially signal warning signs that yet again, animators are not being given enough time to work.
That's right. It's always a scheduling and a talent issue, right? That stems from the overall production committee who decided on the budgets and the talent and the resource allocations onto the project.
Work on episodes, forcing them to rush things out. This is supported by the fact that there were over 20 studios credited in drawing the second key animations in episode 5.
That makes a lot more sense. Whenever you have a lot more animation directors, whenever you have a lot more in-betweeners, the second key animators, or like other, fucking studios getting on board, it's not a good sign, bro. That's a terrible, terrible sign.
But Karu, doesn't that mean they can do things faster?
That's what I used to think too, before I got myself educated. Nope. It means that they're scrambling for time and they're trying to fucking, outsource all this shit, and nope, it is never a good thing.
Faster, yes. Better? No.
Nope.
Imagine you only have 5 minutes to bake a cake. As the baker, your primary job is not to make it look good, but to make it edible so that your customer doesn't fucking die. That's the same for animation. If the animation is choppy and you can't understand what's going on, then it's inedible. So after you've made sure of that, with 1 minute left, you pass it over to someone who does their best to make it look presentable, but obviously without enough time, they're rushing. Perfect. Great. Now do it again with 23 other people trying to recreate that exact same cake. It's impossible.
That's right. And more as this shit happens, the more that it's just gonna lose that original vision, right? If you have one anime director, just working on this, like, what was the example? Like KyoAni and other reputable studios, they don't really abuse their in-betweeners, right? They basically have one person's visions be carried out throughout, and with enough scheduling, you can have such a polished product that just makes sense. When you have so many other people getting involved, too many cooks in this kitchen. Too many cooks in the kitchen, everybody just scrambling for time to just get out a minimal viable product, and that's what happens. You get episode 5.
But you don't go blaming any of the people making the cake. You blame the idiot who said you only need 5 minutes to make one.
Exactly, blame the production committee.
It's almost routine nowadays to see.
Shout out to Eva Koi, a talented animator.
An anime rushed and underbaked simply because the production committees want it by a certain date. It happened with Blue Lock, and it might just be happening to Sakamoto Days.
Womp
Sakamoto
womp.
Days is still a well-animated show. It's not average, it's not mid, but it's very, very solid. One of my
Dude, so far, Sakamoto Days, in terms of Blue Lock, episode for episode, Sakamoto Days is way better in terms of the production value. You saw what Blue Lock did. They literally just fucked off until a U20 arc and then clutched a couple episodes, and then everyone's just talking peak about it. Imagine Sakamoto Days is just consistently okay throughout, and there is no like finale episode like Blue Lock or like the Shido episodes. Could you imagine where there exists a reality where people remember and are more hyped about what happened in Blue Lock Season 2 compared to Sakamoto Days? Because they're not gonna have those like peak moments. Oh my god. Like if we just straight up just compare each episode, right? Just consistent, like if we're talking about consistency. Like even if Sakamoto is gonna be consistently okay and good, the fact that Blue Lock just showed up to fucking die, just locked in and just delivered at the very end, and people just remember that as the most important thing. Oh, bro, that's gonna be fucked up. That's gonna be such a sad reality.
My favorite scenes by far is when this guy is fighting Shin, and as they're talking, he nonchalantly bites his nail. Then, as the roller coaster comes by, yes, they're fighting on a roller coaster.
Oh, we got a gladiator entering the stadium. Explain to me why it's sad that I have to compare it to Blue Lock to say it's better in the first place. That's the problem. What's the problem? Please expand on your idea. Why we can't be comparing Blue Lock and Sakamoto's Days. The reason for comparison is talking about the production value. About how is one so consistently bad till the very fucking end versus one that's consistently okay. And the point that I'm trying to highlight by this comparison is to show that recency bias is what matters more to people than something being consistently good. You get triggered and say, "It's so sad you have to compare it. That's the problem with the anime fans these days." Do you even know why you're upset right now in chat? Everyone's waiting. Come on. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about what people say. Yeah, fucking right. Fuck you. You're backing out right now because I pulled you up. Look at that chat and tell me that you're talking to a greater audience out there when I literally just made the comparison that no one is making. Nobody's comparing Blue Lock and Sakamoto's day right now. Only I brought up that point. Then you immediately responded to it. You want to pussy out of the fucking Coliseum? Fine. Don't be a gladiator then.
The guy jumps, and Shin jumps ever so slightly to land on the seat, propelling his way to spear the guy. Shin with the right hook, which the guy blocks, and remember that subtle nail bite? He spits out a needle that stabs Shin's shoulder, which in the end didn't even do anything, but gave the fight more depth.
It's alright. This fight was fine. I have no complaints about this episode. This episode was fucking hype. This was the episode when I realized, oh, Sakamoto's Days is able to focus on the side characters and make them be really exciting and deliver a fun episode. This episode was fantastic.
Depth and layers. Some people said the art style was bad. I don't know, I thought it looked fine.
The art style? Who made that comment? Since you made that comment, right? Isn't there a specific artist working on Sakamoto's Days that has a bad track record of doing the specific styles, and that's why it looked bad? I feel like there is... Remember? I remember a specific example being made about Sakamoto's Days art style and why it kind of looks flat and weird to me, and about how there's one specific... There's a girl. It's a female animator, some sort of key artist that has worked on other projects, and it had that same type of style that people were kind of like talking bad about. Maybe it's not Sakamoto's Days. Maybe I'm crazy.
Considering it's more of a comedy right now, the thick, heavy lines kind of play into the comic aspect of it. Overall, I can see a casual
This one right here. Yukiko Maruyama. This one. This is what I'm talking about. This is the person. This is why it looks kind of odd.
Anime fan really liking this anime as just a sit down on the couch show that you watch after work. And so far, it's presenting itself as just that. Things have definitely ramped up more.
But here's the thing. The source material fans don't want just a sit on the couch enjoy, you know? They wanted something way more. And I can totally appreciate why they would want that. Imagine if they said that about your favorite show, right? If you're about your favorite manga. Imagine if JJK or Demon Slayer or those things were just like, yeah, man, it's just sit back and enjoy kind of show. Like, they wanted more, man. And I wanted something more in episode 5. That's it. My complaints are just about episode 5. Episodes 1 to 4, it's good enough for me.
Or in terms of plot progression after episode 5, and manga readers have stated that this is where fights will become more intense. Okay. So I guess only time will tell if it ends up being more than a seasonal treat for anime.
Like the comedy here is good. I love the comedy and the humor of Sakamoto's Days. It's really wholesome. The fact that these dudes all showed up and they all got bonked and Hana comes out and they're all corrected, that's all nice. It's just, I wish that the fights could deliver on the hype that the manga has shown.
Fans. I'm gonna keep watching it, but it's probably not gonna be my main anime of the season. But Haru should be your main anime YouTuber, so like and subscribe. See you next time.
But that's the thing, man. It's just like, people wanted more of it because the well that was manga was received. And to tell them to be like, you should be okay with mediocre, I feel like it's a sentiment that nobody's going to appreciate, you know? Like, episodes 1 to 4, it was okay, right? It was above average. But it needs to be more than above average. Here's a sentiment that I made last time about how this could be a great YouTube title. Sakamoto's Days doesn't look bad, and that's why it's bad. Do you understand what I'm saying right now? That first part about why it doesn't look bad, it truly doesn't look bad. But that's the thing. For a manga project like this, it needs to be more than it doesn't look bad. It needs to look amazing. And the fact that it doesn't live up to that is very disappointing. And my sentiment about this show, again, leading up to episode 5, every episode I thought was solid. I thought it was great. And I was enjoying it. The comedy is hitting. The action sequences are hitting. Things are great. Then episode 5 happened where I had a lot of expectations. I had a lot of expectations for episode 5 because Sakamoto finally became his prime form. He became not younger. He became that skinny form. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, this is going to be one of those moments, some sort of key priority moment. Surely they're going to pop off. The fight lasted 5 seconds and it was over. And you can say all you want about, hey, in the manga, the fight was that long too. Sure, fine. You don't want to add extra anime original scenes and keep the short fight, go ahead. But at the very fucking least, make those 5 seconds count. Like the way that you disappoint, girls in bed, man. They don't even do that. They didn't even do that. It was like a fucking isekai fight with the punch fucking leading in and then a cutscene. Boom, he's out of the fucking building. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's what I was disappointed by. The rest of episode 5, though, it was good. Rest of episode 5, building up the order, building up Nagumo and X and all these different characters. That shit was way more fun to me. It's just, damn, bro. You just fucking have to ruin the Boyle versus Sakamoto's fight, man. It is what it is, but hey, we'll keep watching it, and ideally, it will become better rather than worse. Please go check out Karu's video. Here is the link to the video. Please go support his channel if you want. I'll see you next time.